There are phrases that could sound reasonable at first, even caring, but underlying these phrases lies something deeper, secret intentions that might gradually strip away your tranquility, self-assurance, and your connection to yourself. Carl Jung, the renowned Swiss psychologist, taught us the concept of the shadow, an unconscious aspect of ourselves whereby we conceal what we are unwilling to face. When a man speaks from his unresolved shadow, you are not only hearing words, you are hearing warnings. In today's video, I'll reveal 4 Carl Jung words that, when you hear them, should instantly alert you to danger. This transcends superficial relationship advice, it involves recognizing when another's unconscious turmoil is about to become your burden. As Marcus Aurelius once said, how much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does. Perhaps the greatest act of self-love is to just walk away before the damage starts. Each of these phrases carries psychological weight that goes much deeper than the words themselves. Disregarding them might land you in a relationship where you gradually lose yourself bit by bit, while trying to heal a person who refuses to heal. And trust me, no woman who values her peace of mind and personal development should ever have to carry another person's unintegrated shadow. Stay with me because I'll not just show you how to spot these red flags but also how to respond with strength and insight without losing your self-worth. Let us get started. Number 1. You have to accept me the way I am. At first glance this might sound like true self-expression, perhaps even vulnerability. But listen intently, if a man uses such a phrase to justify hurtful behavior, you're witnessing one of the most dangerous habits in relationships. Carl Jung made it clear that real development happens whenever we stop making excuses and begin to face our shadows. But when a person hides behind, "That's just how I am," to avoid change, you're not dealing with authenticity, you're dealing with a person who has made peace with their problems. This phrase frequently arises after you have noticed irritating behaviors, emotional unavailability, rudeness, or deceptive behavior. And each time you try to address it, he pulls out this phrase like a shield. But here's what he's actually saying: I refuse to change, and you need to shrink to fit my limitations. Jung emphasized that healthy relationships need both individuals to be on the journey of individuation, becoming their best, most conscious selves. But this statement indicates someone who has abandoned that road completely. He expects you to do all the emotional tasks and make all the changes while he remains exactly the same. The deeper reality is this: accepting someone does not mean condoning the unacceptable. True love fosters progress, not stagnation. As the Stoics believed, we are designed to evolve, to become greater versions of ourselves every single day. A man who genuinely loves you will want to progress alongside you, not bring you down to his level of ignorance. Therefore, when you hear this statement, ask yourself, is he truly being sincere, or is this just a smart strategy to dodge responsibility? Because if his words cover a continual opposition to development and improvement, you're looking at a routine that will only get worse with time. And that is where it becomes very dangerous. After accepting this phrase, you might find yourself caught in a relationship where you're constantly the one evolving, sacrificing, and compromising, while he remains in his comfort zone. You're not here to downsize yourself for a person who refuses to grow. You're here to spend your life with a person who wants to develop just like you do. Number 2. All my exes were crazy. If a man tells you this, it could first sound like he's just talking about his past, but don't be deceived. Behind these statements lies something far more troubling: a total unwillingness to take accountability for his role in relationship issues. Carl Jung warned us that what we don't make conscious ends up controlling us from the shadows, and men who repeatedly blame their exes are frequently projecting their own unresolved darkness. This statement shows the mentality of a chronic victim, a person who needs to be the hero in every narrative, even when he was the one creating the problems. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said that it's not circumstances that disturb us, but our perception of them. Therefore, if a man often perceives his past relationships as him being wronged, never reflecting on his own actions, the probability is he's avoiding his own reflection completely. Here's the psychological fact: it's next to impossible that every single one of his exes was the problem. What's far more possible is that there's an overall pattern he refuses to acknowledge. Carl Jung said that what we deny in ourselves, we always put onto other people. His crazy exes could just be women who refused to accept his unconscious actions. This mentality is extremely dangerous since it shows a person who cannot learn from experience. He will repeat the same subconscious habits countless times, blaming every new partner when things naturally fall apart. And the most terrifying part? At some point, you will become the next crazy ex in his story. Being with a person like this is stressful. You will find yourself walking on eggshells, striving to be the exception. The one who doesn't cause his habits. But you can't heal a person who doesn't even realize they're wounded. You can't build a good friendship with a person who refuses to look deeper into behavior. A conscious woman should ask herself, has he ever taken accountability for what went wrong in his past relationships? Has he ever shown real self-reflection? If the answer is no, you're dealing with a person whose shadow is in full control, and that shadow will finally turn its blame toward you. Number 3. If you truly loved me, you would do what I ask. This is emotional blackmail disguised as a love phrase. Initially, it could sound like a passionate request or perhaps vulnerability. But look more closely, and you will realize it's actually one of the most manipulative phrases in life. The Stoics believe that real love cannot be imposed or coerced, it has to be freely offered. Your freedom of choice. Carl Jung spoke about how toxic relationships frequently start when one person tries to manipulate another through emotional blackmail, and this phrase is an excellent example. If a man says this, he's creating an invisible boundary that conditions your love. He's effectively saying, your sentiments are only valid if you submit to my demands. It's not love, it's control putting on a mask of love. Someone with emotional maturity makes requests, not demands disguised as love tests. They understand that good relationships are founded on mutual respect, not emotional coercion. The most disastrous thing is how this phrase develops over time. If you loved me, you would message me back faster. Then it grows, if you loved me, you wouldn't spend time with your acquaintances. In the end, you're making decisions out of fear of disappointing him instead of what feels right for you. Jung said that meaningful love supports individuation, your quest to become your greatest self. But this statement does the opposite. It gradually erodes your freedom until you're no longer sure if you're acting out of love or out of fear of losing his loyalty. The response to this manipulation is simple but effective: stand strong in your truth. A person who genuinely loves you doesn't have to guilt you into submission.